G'day guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Build Insight podcast. We are still live from Circus Studio at Bowen's Port, Melbourne, continuing this little mini-series. Now, this guest, this one's probably one of the more unique ones we've had so far. This is our first one that's actually flown from interstate to join us on the podcast. All the way from Tasmania, I want to give a warm welcome to Mitch from Align Architecture. He has one interesting journey all the way from painting to pizza shops, now to working in an architectural firm. Mitch, welcome to the podcast, mate.
Thanks, Luke. It's great to be on here and great to come up to Melbourne for the podcast.
Absolute pleasure to have you over, mate. Now, I really didn't give it justice in the intro probably, so for everybody at home listening, tell us a bit about you, mate. What do you do? How did you get here? How did all this come about?
Yeah, so it is, like you said, it's quite an interesting story. So straight out of high school, and the whole story kind of comes together on how we kind of work in our design company as well. So I started in a painting trade straight out of high school at 16 years old. And from there, I continued through my apprenticeship and then actually started a painting company when I was about 19. So I've been
your own painting company?
Yeah.
Cool.
So my boss decided to shut down and I took over his work and he never paid my super, of course. That happens a little bit in the industry. So I said, hey, I'll take some of the tools, took a bit of equipment, and I was away. It was a really good choice at that time. And from there, I grew the painting business to 11, 12 people over the years. And I've learned a lot, as we all have in business. And also throughout that journey, probably about 2012, I had 2 pizza shops as well. And I was pretty busy, very overworked and crashed and burned, as I'm sure you hear a lot on this podcast and chatting to people.
You had the pizza shops whilst painting? Or
Yeah.
Okay, so he's got 3.
Yeah.
I did stuff that up because I think we were chatting when we had beers in Tassie a little while ago. And I was like, Mitch painted pizza shops.
Painted pizza shops.
Like, no,
I did
man.
paint the pizza shop.
Yeah, best painted pizza shops in Tassie.
Yeah. No, so I was running both at once, and I was on the tools during the day, and I'd leave at about lunch, 1 o'clock, leave the guys on site, flip some dough, get the pizzas ready, and work night till 10, 11 o'clock, which was such a unique experience because the painting and in trades, I was always waiting for money.
Yep.
With the pizza shops, I was paid up front, so it was such a experience, and also really good with understanding business as well. So there's so many lessons there and experiences around actual business management. So then fast forward to probably about 6-7 years ago, I was doing a few projects for Davies Construction, Luke Davies, and I thought it's about time that I got off the tools, and it just wasn't fulfilling. In life, I wasn't happy, I wasn't passionate about what I was doing. I was passionate in the quality. I've always had such a unique focus on quality to the point that I'd lose money. It meant that the quality was there. And I remember going in and seeing Luke and said, hey, I've just, I think I've had enough. I'm keen to, maybe come in and do something with you. And he pretty much hired me on the spot. So I still had the painting business going, and I was doing 2 or 3 days a week there as an estimator. I still remember my first estimate now, and that was I priced a full custom designed home on paper, pencil and paper, every single material in that home, and it was such I don't know whether you guys have done something like that before. Yeah. It's a good way to learn.
Yeah.
Slow, but very detailed.
How did the relationship come about with Luke? Were you doing his painting?
Yeah, so I was doing Davies construction painting from about 2012. So we've had a pretty long relationship as well, and we're quite unique. We both work pretty hard. We both get pretty excited about business and ideas, and passionate about just moving forward and seeing things come to life. So we kind of just gelled and went from there.
Yep.
And then at Davies Construction, I was estimating there, and that was truly insightful. I had the sub-trade knowledge of how a home went together, but not the construction knowledge. And I come through at such a unique time where I saw how homes were being built, how, there weren't cavity battens, for example. We weren't using Proclimber or permeable wrap, whether it was Bradford or Proclimber. And so we saw the journey from using an anti-con blanket on the roof to changing to double battens. And I remember Luke, he made the call on every job to change. He put the Pro Climber Mento on every roof at his own cost.
Yep.
He's like, that, that's the path we're going, and he just did it. And actions like that, speak pretty loud, especially to me. So
you had that's I think that's the most fascinating part of what I love what Align's doing, because there's a lot of drive there that you're not just an architect firm. You have a real understanding with your knowledge, especially from working in a building company, being a trade and understanding what the trades go through, and even the fact how people get paid at various levels, both design, build, trades. And it's a real key point that you guys have, because you're not just passionate about building better, but the thing that we spent a lot of time talking recently about, Mitch, was the process involved. A house is built on paper before it's built on site. So can we talk about, not to jump too far ahead, because then you get to Align, but with your experience with Davies Construction, when did it become more evident to yourself and Luke that you need to collaborate and needed to talk through details to build better?
Yeah, so it was kind of evident from when we began. When I started at Davies, Davies did have a couple of designers they had in-house as well, but quite often we would get plans at building approval stage where there was no builder involved and no cost tracking. So what would quite often happen is we'd get the plans and then we'd do an estimate, and it was double the client's budget, and it was such a heartbreaking moment to deliver that message to the client and say, I'm sorry, but we've actually got to take this out, and we've got to hack at your dream home. So they've spent all this time in design, designing their dream home, showing their friends, only to be told now they can't get it.
Yep.
And it was just so clear at that stage that it's a team effort. There's theory and practical, and it's the team that gets the job done. So through that collaboration, it's just seen a massive change in how we deliver homes.
Yep. Which is, I guess, probably a good segue to lead into with that collaboration. What's the Align model? Sort of, what are you guys focusing on? How do you, I guess, foster that true relationship with architect, builder, client? Like, what does the day-to-day actually look like for you guys?
It's a really good question, and we've developed a model that we call the ABC method, which is Align, Build, Collaboration. So we kind of extend the collaboration beyond just a builder and architect. That's bringing the engineer in, sitting down with the engineer and the builder and the architect to actually talk through the details. And day to day, we're just always talking through processes and how things are done. If we get engineering drawings in, we mark it up, we call the builder up, we have a meeting, virtual meeting, and we talk through the details. So that way we're making those changes and getting the details right in live process.
As a team.
Yeah, as a team, not at the end where now you've got approved, signed engineering drawings that can make a change, or even a site visit. Like, we do a lot of renovations as well, and having the builder come to the renovation and inspect up into the ceiling and be like, okay, all these walls are engaged. Yeah. So we can't just take any wall out. We can if we reinforce it, but understanding those elements as well, it just really brings that team effort in.
Pulling it all together.
And we've just got a good relationship with the builders, so we call them up at any time and they're just really happy to help because they see the benefit as well. And the client really gets the win out of it.
For over 130 years, Bowens has been the builder's choice, providing a service that provides timber, hardware and innovative building products.
And now we're helping you further with this wonderful partnership.
We're proud to announce Bowens as our new premier sponsor, bringing you more of the insights that you love. Build insight together with Bowens.
Real people,
real insights.
It's probably an interesting story, whether you've got any input on this, Mitch, because obviously Luke kind of created the journey. You've been along for it as well, but the fact that a builder has started a architectural firm as well, obviously there was a need for it and wanting other builders to be able to use that service as well. Like, how, I guess, in the early days did Luke put that message out there that, hey, I'm a builder, but this is also a side business of mine too. Let's all collaborate and work together.
Yeah. It's kind of an interesting thing that happened. We started to get leads all around Tasmania just because Davies as a company has a really strong brand in quality and has won quite a lot of awards. So we would get phone calls for a design in Hobart, and it's like, yeah, we'll do that. And then we had the connections also in Hobart. So before you know it, we were building all across Tasmania, working with other builders.
Yeah, which is good to hear because I'm sure there's a lot of other builders that may have come across, probably particularly old school builders or anyone new that didn't really know the industry that would be like, oh, well, I know the connection that, if there's another builder that's got their finger in the pie there, maybe I'm not going to go with them.
Yeah.
So that's a really interesting story.
I think, and I've heard it in one of your podcasts, the collaboration in the industry at the moment is like it's next level.
It's huge.
Probably 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it would have been struggling. Like people didn't want to share information, and we're pretty big on that. We're open to sharing anything. We obviously have IP being in design, but we don't really worry too much about it. If we create a detail, we're creating it with builders and we'll share it. We're happy to share anything that we come up with.
Yeah, so that's probably the exciting thing about Align is it's realistically born on collaboration.
Yeah.
So to its truest form, your number one aim with the ABC format, obviously we're all involved with that building journey for clients.
Yeah.
But none of us can truly get the best results if there's not that true teamwork. I think that was one of the things as well that we, talking about Mitch off air was that time. We've got periods in the preparation for a home to be built that it's a responsibility, or the ball's in the architect's court, then the ball's in the builder's court, and the ball's in maybe the council's court, and then the client again, because they've got to make decisions. So I think you put it really well, because time is of the essence.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
And there can be time, can be money for the process to drag out. So what's some things that Align do, Mitch, to really be efficient in that aspect?
Yeah, I think it's a really good point. I know we spoke about it because people's lives change. Over 12 months, 2 years, people could have, someone could have a child. So time is of the essence. And a big thing, the biggest change we've done is just hold everyone accountable. So give time frames. Like a good example I will say is if someone asks me to do something and they don't give a time frame for it, you can guarantee I'm going to probably wait and leave it. If someone says, hey, I need this done tomorrow, I will get it done tomorrow. So even down to working with an engineer, we will request a quotation from the engineer and say, hey, can you give us a quotation? What's your time frame for this? And we lock that in, and before it's due, we touch base. Even with sub-trades, when we were estimating, we did the same thing, and you would find instead of waiting months that everyone would start to actually hit that day. And I'd always ask the question, can you meet this deadline? Does that work for you? And everyone comes to the party on it because it's clear expectation. That's one big thing we do. And same with the clients. We've booked the next meeting in a meeting. So got this thing where we don't finish a meeting without booking the next meeting, because clients are the same. They don't know how quick they've got to move. And then maybe they do need more time, which is fine as well. But there's this kind of thing in the industry that you've got the target at the end. That doesn't change, but everything else does. And everyone still has that same expectation. So just always focusing on that end goal means that we can keep hitting that. And then just efficiencies through project management, checklists, of course, as well. Trying to reduce.
I think that's such a great point. Like the amount of times we would have seen that we're ready for engineering, but then the engineer gives you a 4-week lead time and they don't hit that. They're 8 weeks, and then all of a sudden everyone else is out. Before you know, it wasn't meant to be started next January. It's the January after. And we hear it too much these days, which is just a frustration for everybody in the industry.
Definitely. And it's also a good point that we understand as well for builders is that it's quite difficult to convert that project. It can take a very long time, and you're relying on that project starting. You may not have another project, and you want to get that on the, out of the ground for the client as well. So it's just all about working together and being clear with timeframes and not being afraid of calling someone up and saying, hey, how are you going with that?
Definitely.
Now, Mitch, you're pretty vocal about, I guess, moving beyond the Australian building standard. What are some concerns at the moment, I suppose, with sort of the mainstream building, with like as far as health and comfort of our homes? How do we break out of some of these horrible trends?
Yeah, so there's It's something that I'm sure we could talk about a lot. I think condensation and moisture, as we can all agree, is just a major issue at the moment. And I know myself, I've just moved into a newly built home and it hasn't been lived in before, and it's actually cold. So it's a brand new home. You can't walk around without shoes on. Condensation galore on the windows, and this is a brand new built home. And there's so many things that don't comply with the building standard.
Obviously, Davies Constructions didn't.
Obviously, Davies didn't get that one. Yeah, I don't know if anyone's really at fault in that. I think the building code needs to lift their game, and a lot more of this type of thing as well. So I think more needs to be done on, making sure that moisture and condensation is controlled in the home, and the membranes and ventilation and cavities are well.
Yep. When you see probably less projects that aren't as successful as good collaboration can showcase, where do you think the biggest downfalls are? From an aspect of now you're in the architect's chair compared to the builder's chair. Where do you think that the improvement overall could be in the industry?
As in when projects
to get projects to a contract and start.
I was thinking about this earlier, and I do think it's a lot about budget. I've noticed as soon as we've got a project, and whether this is estimating or in design, as soon as a project goes to an estimating point, if you're on budget, you're fine. You fly through. If you're not on budget, you can, I've spent a year or 18 months before when I was estimating trying to get a project on track with the budget. So budget control is the biggest thing, and it is also the hardest thing as well, because from the designer's point of view, clients are they're designing the dream home. It's quite emotional, and they're investing quite a lot of money as well, and it is sometimes quite difficult to understand what that decision is going to cost. But by collaborating with the builder, it's like, how much more is this going to cost? And sometimes that's not an easy question, as we all know, but having that collaboration can control that budget.
Yep. And I think it makes a lot of sense, really. But when it becomes a matter of it's out of your hands, do you see any frustrations when people aren't meeting times? Obviously builders are all busy. We've still got some builders that are on the tools and maybe trying to fit in admin in the afternoon. From builders listening, is there more of an open communication method that you see that would be better off than just going away and saying, it could be 12 weeks and then it turns into 4 months and you're still waiting for a proposal?
Yeah, I think that's something that's always going to be the case a little bit, I think, with builders, especially as they're growing or depending on their staff. But coming up with technology, I think, is a big one. Like when we spoke with, I had Wonderbuild, Present and V2E, I think coming up with external estimating softwares and processes will actually help with that, because it's quite difficult to always control your workload as a builder and as an engineer as well.
Yeah.
So it's just always giving people heads up. So like I mentioned before, when we book things in advance, as soon as we start a stage, we reach out and say, hey, Dean, we've got this project coming to do an estimate. It'll be 6 weeks. So you can pencil that in, and we try our best to meet that 6-week target.
Yep.
It doesn't mean that something doesn't come up for you as well on site. Something's going wrong. I'd love to know if there's any other answers out there other than technology and becoming quicker at estimating. I'd love to get it out in design software, if I'm honest.
The tools are definitely becoming more prevalent, aren't they? We did that. I did a weekend in Launceston with looking into vision to estimating and how that can feed into your building software. And that I think I said to you, I sort of fell out of love with the process of trying not to be in the estimating part of things, but the technology side coming in actually is reinvigorated actually wanting to be estimating. And then you see the modeling side of it. And I think it's an exciting time to benefit everyone's business, whether you're an architect or a builder yourself. It's some cool stuff going on out there.
Yeah, 100%. It's innovation, and it's something we're big on. And I believe you both are as well, is just constantly improving, coming up with better ideas, how to do things better. And those types of things with V2E, it's likely going to become part of our process. So within our time frame that we're already doing, it would come with all the bill of quantities as an example.
Yep.
So then all you're doing is solving that, couple of week time frame at a minimum.
Definitely. Yep.
How else, I guess, to try and help speed it up and streamline the pre-construction process? How is Align, I guess, implementing or what systems and stuff have you got in there? Maybe walk us through stuff like Build Print, any other tools like that you guys have got?
Yeah. So our Build Print, we've also got what we call base plans. So at every deliverable that we give to the client or the builder, we've got a visual. So go on about lean course that we've just done, that we've got visual design, and then we've got a checklist on each page. So I say questions add time.
Yeah.
So by going through and doing that checklist, the team can maintain that level of quality output on every project and not get questions, because if the council come back with a request for further information, you can burn 2-3 weeks just there. So that's one thing that we're really doing. And we've got a really clear project management task list and checklist. So it's just constantly always looking ahead. So a good example is we used to get engineering and building certifier, a surveyor, engaged later on in the last stage of design, whereas now we get their quotations and approved just as we're getting the development application sorted. So that way we're not waiting 2-3 weeks for a quotation. We're just bang, ready to go. So it's just thinking ahead in that process, and we've done that through mapping out the entire journey and seeing where we can get waste. And I think when we present to you, it's probably 8 to 12 month to design process, but in approval time and our design hours, it's only about 6 months. So half the time is waiting.
Yep.
So we know it's there and we will reduce it.
Yep.
Could you just backtrack there too? There's the lean course you just touched on, because I haven't done that.
Yeah.
We've been hearing a lot about it. Can you talk us through what that is? And I know Align's just gone through the course.
Yeah, so it's a really incredible course, and it's come from, I can't remember whether it come from Ford or a Japanese manufacturing from cars, and it was just about improving efficiencies, and they put people and quality and output first.
Was it Toyota?
Toyota, yeah. Yeah, it was Toyota. Yeah. And we've just put the entire team through it. They just off for a full week and went through it, and it's kind of like, people may think it's not applicable to design, but what it's all about is working as a team with their own ideas. So we've got this continuous improvement board or awareness list. So as soon as someone has an idea, or if they think something can be done better, they put it there, we workshop it as a team and implement it, because quite often you get stuck in this mentality of that's how it's always been done.
Yeah.
Which isn't the right mind. It's like, I don't like how that is. It's like, how can we do it better? Like, just because that's how it's been done.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of talk that there's no point being really efficient at a task that isn't required. And I've got heaps of tasks that I do that aren't even required. So, and that comes from your team. So people are so important. As much as systems and checklists are, having the right people in the right place and using their ideas is just invaluable to a company because they're on the ground.
Dino, so I rocked up to site last week, got scratched bench tops, paint all over the windows.
Let me guess, Lukey. No good?
No good. And now we're spending big bucks trying to fix it.
Mate, Goop Guys roll on a thick, peelable protective coating that saves your surfaces.
And your budget.
And your sanity, Lukey.
Seriously, check them out. goopguys.com.au. Protect your job from the start.
I think that's got my name written all over it. I believe they're hitting up Melbourne in 2026. So
yeah, they do. They actually do a practical day, and they have this conveyor belt where you dismantle this little cab and then you put it back together. And they've got an output of 1 per minute. And the first time you do it, it's like double that. And then you've got to work as a team to be like, how can we increase this output? And that mindset that through team collaboration and coming out with ideas, they doubled their output and it was easier. So you think, how could you build a house twice as quick and it'd be easier? And when I did it, I was in a tough position. So I was sweating, running around, making mistakes flat out. And at the end, I was there chatting to the supervisor, and we met the output. And there's some factories out there that have said to the team, if you hit the target in 4 days, you have the 5th day off and you get paid. And I've been saying the same thing to our teams, like how can we increase efficiency? Because I'd be happy for them to have a day off a week because we can do things.
Everybody wins.
Yeah.
I love that. It's good to know. I mean, it's all about efficiencies and as well, like delegating things that you know. I've been horrendous at that at certain times over my building career, and you just have to pull yourself back into line and go again. But I think you're constantly evolving and growing. So that sounds super exciting, Mitch.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I know I do this task every fortnight for our hourly rate invoicing, and I hate it. Every fortnight it takes me like 3 hours. I've just fixed it because our software can do it automatically. I stopped and fixed, which is their terminology. It's like instead of continuing to make the same mistake, or let's stop what we're doing, let's fix it and start again.
Yeah. Can you talk to building councils about that with building planning permits? Because that's broken, seriously. How is Tassie set up? I know, so obviously a lot of states have premiums. Builders have their insurance premiums, and they can't build beyond that premium. And I know Tassie don't really have a cap. But how's the council side of things, and going through for planning approvals and so forth?
It's got its ups and downs. There's so many councils through Tasmania. But it's not too bad. I think as long as you provide the information, you're really good. I know we try to get a lot of pre-planning discussion points with them, but when they're busy, they don't have time. So we did go through a stage there where no one had time, and it was really bad. Whereas at the moment, it's fine now. And this is what I was saying about questions. We're just putting the time in to make sure the plans have everything they need. So they're just looking at it thinking, oh, I've got nothing to ask. And then they just slide it through. With
the line, Mitch, is there some growth plans there? I know there's a lot of designers and architects working multiple states. Is there any plans for the mainland?
Yeah, definitely. Everywhere.
Taking over
I have said we would design on Mars and the moon if we had the chance, but we're registered in Victoria and New South Wales, and we have quite a few projects up here in Victoria at the moment. And we've got a couple in New South Wales as well. So what we're doing is quite unique, and it's working. Like, we've got such a big success rate with our projects getting built. So we're planning going nationally, design anywhere.
Maybe tell us a bit about Align then, Mitch. How big's the team? Like, what do you guys kind of specialise in?
Yeah, so the team at the moment, we've got May, Sarah, Jeremy, Michael and Saxon. So we've got 2 registered architects in the team, and experienced graduates and masters of architecture. And we do probably 30, 40 projects at once at the moment. And
30 to 40 at once?
Yeah.
That's a decent volume of work.
It is. But keeping in mind that, like I mentioned before, one project can take 12 months, but there's only 6 months work of that, and everything's always on hold. So we're not always flat out with that work. It's very difficult to maintain a steady flow of work in design, that's for sure. So mainly we're doing residential homes because it's something we're really passionate about, but we pretty much do anything. We've done a few dentists, surgeries, vets. We've been doing quite a few storage sheds as well because we're really big on feasibility studies. So we've worked with a few investors to get a really accurate feasibility study before they start the project, and they love it, having clarity at the start.
I suppose with the philosophy of Align, obviously, more durable, healthy homes for clients and the occupants. Do you have any trouble sort of with, I suppose selling might be the way to put it, to clients coming to you just thinking, I'm going to get an architectural built home here, but you're doing much more than that?
Yeah, not really. I think everyone's got that expectation, and I might flip back to my estimating hat a little bit. I remember when the roof wrap come out and we were doing the double batten. And I don't know whether that kind of happened up here as well, but I remember explaining that to every client at the start and explaining that that's what we were doing and it's different. And then it became a point where we didn't discuss it anymore. It was just standard practice. It just happens. So, that we've got certain things that we don't budge on, but it's just education, and our clients are coming to us through our website or through the builders we work for. So they're pretty well aligned with everything we're doing. So usually they're quite on board.
Yep.
No
pun intended.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. I think I think they're going to say it in the message you put across anyway, but it's a lot of these things aren't really adding a massive cost to the build. Not when you're designing smart in the first place and looking at budget early on.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's a winner. Yeah.
And I think having both the builder and designer aligned, pun intended again, you'll never stop hearing it now, is really good as well, because I remember back when we were estimating, if a home come through and you need a thermally broken aluminium, it's like, God, this is adding so much cost. And it's like, what can we do to avoid that? And then as you're going through the industry, you're realizing it's not just about the cost, the benefits of it are worth it. So when you've got both parties relaying to the client that your glazing is so important to invest in, they can understand it. Whereas when one party doesn't understand it and can't explain it to the client, then the client doesn't see the value.
Yeah.
So that's sometimes a challenge, but when everyone's on board, it's just, it just kind of glides through and has the best outcome.
Yep.
Definitely. Yep.
What about the tech and the software side of things, Mitch? What's I guess anything you want to touch on that's really improving the efficiency of what Align do, or anything exciting that you guys are looking to move into in the future, maybe?
Definitely AI, as everyone is. I see every single software I use now are releasing updates with AI integration. But we use AI a lot as well, and I think in the design industry, it's quite easy to have errors or omissions on plans. So I foresee AI really picking that up, being able to see the errors if a code doesn't match another code, or if there's an element missing. So that's the biggest thing that I see really changing the game, because we probably spend 16 hours at the end of a job just reviewing a plan, because that's the biggest thing that happens in construction. So we put an emphasis on checking every single code, checking the details, whereas that's just going to solve it.
Yeah.
And AI agents for like sales and being able to give people answers straight away, better than we can, and uploading the information. ChatGPT and Gemini we use all the time.
Yeah, the repetitive tasks, like we actually spent a bit of time with our good mate Adam VO over there and saw some repetitive project tasks through that, and I think I walked away thinking I need another staff member, and they're going, no, I don't. No, I just need to use this more efficiently, which is crazy. Yeah, and it's across the board, and it's not like you're not doing your job. It's just you're becoming more efficient at it and picking up things quicker, which is really important.
We've said that to our team. We kind of really want to double our output, but not double our team.
Yeah.
Which is quite possible.
Definitely.
It's definitely something that builders get stuck in that mindset, I think, as well. We just got to keep growing the team. We need more people.
Yeah.
It's just about trying to find either that right team or other systems that can, exactly like you said, manage more work.
Yeah.
Yeah, as well, just to change conversation, you guys got a real passion as well for the early setup. So you're putting something into place with a line to go in, inspect, and I suppose investigate homes to set up more information and data for the design process.
Yeah, for existing homes.
Yeah.
The total building assessment.
Yeah.
It's something that we're really excited about and passionate about. Luke and I, we got a blower door tester and a thermal camera about a year ago, and it's been sitting in the cupboard, but it's ready to go. And
I got to admit, me too, actually.
Yeah, it's easier to do, isn't it? But it's there when you need it. So we've come up with this idea on assessing existing homes, because we do a lot of renovations, and we've done our first project, and we're going to release this product over the next probably month.
Yep.
So what we did with this existing home, it was built in the early 1900s, and the clients are looking to purchase it, and they're like, well, we just want to know how it performs. So we went in, we did a blower door test on the home. We went through with a thermal camera, inspected everything. We went through also and looked at some design ideas, checked the structure, got under the floor of the house, got in the roof space, checked the insulation, checked the wall cavities for ventilation.
Yep. And sorry, Mitch, was that before a purchase of the property?
Yeah, before
yeah,
purchase.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, before a purchase. So It's pretty awesome. And we've got a moisture detector as well. So we went through moisture and checking for leaks. So it's like just this building inspection on steroids. Like it's really intense. And we've come up with this really awesome report, and the clients are like, they're just wrapped. And we've given them ideas on what to do for upgrades and how much that would cost. Like, not going silly with things, because you've got to balance the cost and the outcome. But we all know that there's that cost as well that's too much to invest. So pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's where the next evolution of the industry is, even for people in the mindset to do that before they buy a property. I get contacted all the time just for people to say, oh, would you come and do an inspection? And it's like, we're not offering that service. So, you know, it's just not there for us. But yeah, if that's there and there's people out there that can do that, rather than just an inspector walking in for a pre-purchase, chucking their head around going, oh, there's a few cracks. There's probably a lot more for the issues than just a few plastic cracks that you can see.
100%. And we're planning on going out and doing that. Like, so we will work with experts. So like, we'll work with a building inspector, so that can go into the purchase price, purchase contract. So, and that way we can do all that work. And then you've got a component that, you know, if something goes wrong, they can pull out of the contract. But all it is just giving people confidence.
We are absolutely thrilled to announce that Circus Studio are coming on board as a major sponsor and supporter of Build Insight. Circus Studio is Australia's leading interior design centre. If you're an architect, building designer, interior designer, builder, or just looking to build your dream home, you need to make a time and come in and check out the space here in Port Melbourne. This space holds every element that you'll possibly need to design your dream home.
Where do you see that part of, I guess, your service sit? Is that something that you want to push to do a lot more of, or it's kind of just a bit of a side hobby at the moment, or where do you see that going?
After, like, we're really excited about it, actually, to be honest, in the team. And
well, as you should be, it's very unique.
I kind of had a goal of doing 400 a year. I just kind of did the math on how many houses there were, and thought over the next 10 years it could be good to do 10% of the homes. So I'm pretty keen to do a lot of them, because I think it'll really help people understand what's happening to the homes, and having a solution as well, because it's not just saying this is wrong. It's like, 'cause I don't like that mentality. I like, this is what's here, but this is what you can do. And this is what it's probably going to cost as well.
Solution-based.
Solution-based.
Is there, I suppose, you know, even if it's not planned, but that'll only help you guys with data to actually you know, further help clients down the track too. So, it's a win-win.
Yeah, well, Luke and I were chatting about the other day, and saying we could put sensors in the home as well and track the performance and how it improves, because the more information we've got, again, the more the industry can upskill and see, and we can push the government to make these changes as needed.
Yep, definitely. Amazing.
I guess we won't hold you too long, mate. We've sort of got a few other things to get to this afternoon, but just before we go, I guess, where do you see the industry moving in the next little while? You guys are clearly driving for some pretty passionate change in the industry. What do you see sort of next for you? What, either next for Align or for the rest of the industry in the next sort of 5 to 10 years?
For Align, we're just going to expand and get out there and share what we know, because I think the more that we all do what we're doing, the more the industry is going to get to that level. And that's exactly what's happening. Like, we've got some big project home builders in Tas that are jumping on board, and they're using ProClimate wraps, so they're focusing on ventilation. And I'm seeing a pretty big change in the industry, and that's what's needed, because at the moment, when you've got a home and you're telling a client that this is a cost and this is what you're doing, and then you've got someone else that is completely doing the opposite, you know, no cavity battens, like putting the clients at risk as well in terms of health. And the clients don't even understand. So I think the industry is listening. I mean, other builders are listening as well, and it's awesome to see. I see it every day on social media. So it's great work to, like, you guys and everyone as well.
We do say don't just sit on social media and waste your life away, but it is a pretty powerful part of it.
When you're watching and listening to what you guys are doing.
And I think in general, just to kind of see, you know, obviously had chats with people like Airboss Dan and Devon from Performance Membranes and stuff, and Joel from Fantech. And it's not just about like having a cool wrap on your house. It actually is serving a purpose of durability and protection to that dwelling. But it's not just good enough to just put that on. You've got to go out and get that education, because there is architects, designers, consultants that are educating themselves further.
Yeah,
the builder needs to as well. It's not just going to come out to you. So, but
that's what I love about this industry is everyone's happy to collaborate. And Justin O'Connor, like the guy is an absolute legend. You know, he's always happy to help with anything. So, you know, people like that are just happy to give advice. It's really driving the industry forward.
And I mean, there's probably even guys like Mog, who we've had on, who's another great Tassie man. And, you know, I actually is stepped away from building, doing his own home, but he's stepped in to work with Justin and doing education down in Tassie as well. So it's awesome to see there's people that have come from trade backgrounds like yourself, carpenters, other builders out there that have taken other steps in their career because they got a passion in education. You know, 5-10 years ago, that just wasn't happening. There was trade school teachers and that was about it. But Mitch, mate, we appreciate, as Luke said, you flying over. Awesome to spend some time with you, mate. But before you go,
we're going to throw you in the hot seat.
That's it, mate. A few rapid fire questions we're going to throw at you, mate. And as I said, I thought this is only fitting to kick off because
this could be the most controversial.
I think this could break the internet. But mate, you ready? We've got to be rapid fire.
Let's do it.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yeah.
100%. What about you, Luke, for that? Let's all do this one. I'm a pineapple man.
I don't want to answer it because I've got a pizza shop right next to me. I think you could probably guess my answer. Next one. First thing you'd fix in the construction industry if you had a magic wand?
Just, I think the construction codes and building standards being leveled up to, you know, where it should be beyond the standard it is now.
Good one. Yep. And full adoption from all states, I'd say. Yeah.
That would be good.
Most underrated feature in a well-designed home?
I think the sense of mystery and surprise as you're walking into a home. So I'm sure you can tell a really well-designed home coming in and seeing the little surprises and details throughout a home. So that's it for me.
Love that.
That's a good one. Last one, mate. What is one build you'll never forget and why?
I think we've done one in Shearwater, and the client was just such a great client. And when we'd finished, she put on this big barbecue for us and had us all over, and it was just a very efficient process. It's like the ideal outcome from start of design through to construction. It was efficient, very quick. The client's extremely happy, and the home's just awesome. And to have that, you know, barbecue with her and family and experience the home is really special.
That's a really good takeaway, actually, because there's a lot of people that probably focus in on a question like that about what's the fanciest or flashiest looking thing that they've built.
Space.
In that relationship, and it's actually the build process is the most enjoyable part. That's a really good takeaway.
Yeah, fantastic, mate. Mitch, just tell listeners, where can we find Align, Instagram, websites? You want to put the handles out there for people to follow along?
Yeah, so we're on socials, which is alignarchitecture.au, and our website is align.build. Bit of a fancy URL. Just align.build. Yeah, you can put a www there if you like, but align.build will get you there.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah.
And Tassie, Vic, New South Wales, and watch this space for the rest of the country.
If you've got something to do somewhere else, call us up and we'll be there.
Yep.
That's exciting, mate. I look forward to watching that journey over the next little while. Thanks again, mate. Really appreciate your time today for coming in. But yeah, that brings us to the end of another episode, guys. If you want to find out more about Build Insight, head over to our website, buildinsite.com.au. Over on the website, you can find links to previous podcast episodes as well as links to our YouTube channel and Instagram. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. We'll catch you on the next one.
We just need to say a massive thank you to our sponsors and supporters. Without them, Build Insight wouldn't be possible. So to Bowens, Circus Studio, Wonderbuild, Goop Guys, Callery Building, and Backman Builders, thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you again next week.
Let's cue the disclaimer. I need to let you know that myself and the Build Insight team are in no way, shape or form qualified to give you personal or specific business advice. We strongly encourage you seek out the use of professionals for products or when you are making personal or business decisions. Everything discussed during the Build Insight podcast is our own and the guest opinion and personal experience and is of a general nature only. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Catch you on the next one.